Hello, hello. Hey, trailblazers. I'm 2 minutes late, which I'm not happy about, but I just had to put some lipstick on. I had to get a quick cup of tea. So I am online. Hey, trailblazers. How are you guys doing? I am so excited for today's masterclass. I'm just going to keep an eye out on some of the requests that come through. Okay, so let me just see if Diane. Okay, fantastic. So my assistant's just going to keep an eye on that as well. So Diane, if you are on, can you just let me know that all is well? It's so funny. As soon as I come on, there's like quite a bit of activity on the feed. All right, so awesome. Let me just quickly message her back, and then let me just see. All right, so for those of you who are here, in fact, I don't know, how do I announce this as an announcement so that people can see this when it comes up? Hopefully you're going to see it. So for those of you who are here, welcome. Every Tuesday I do a self-mastery session, and this self-mastery session is, sometimes it's a masterclass, sometimes it is a little bit more, and sometimes it's a short session, conversation about whatever it might be that I feel guided to share. So yesterday, Sunday night, and yesterday I decided, right, that's it. The next topic we're going to be talking about is speaking your truth, honoring your truth, and actually kind of overcoming the fear of visibility. So I've been having some fantastic conversations with some of my clients about showing up on social media, and I was like, let's talk about this. So for those of you who are on, say hi, drop a comment, let me know that you can see me. Let me just quickly message Diane. Let me see, and she can see me online. And if she can mark it as an announcement. If not, we just keep going. So welcome to everybody who is here. Say hi. If you're catching the replay, #replay, that would be awesome. That gives me an idea of who was hanging out afterwards. It's all happening. This is all good stuff. So we'll see how long we go for. This is an interesting one because generally I don't really plan the sessions per se. I have some notes and stuff, and I kind of feel guided that I'm going to be talking about a number of different things to kind of make the points that I want to make. So we're looking at the fear of visibility, and we're looking at speaking your truth. So in today's day and age, and the world that we live in, it might feel like self-expression is, on the one hand, is super celebrated, and on the other hand, it's kind of being negated. Now, this is such an ironic thing for me to talk about, because there are things that I definitely want to say, but I'm also aware of the kind of platform that I'm on. Okay, so I'm still going to say what I would need to say in a roundabout way. If you get what I'm talking about, drop a message, drop a comment below, and let me know. There is something very powerful in expressing who you are and honoring that in a world, or in many circumstances and situations, where people do not want to see examples of self-expression. And my thing has always been that we are all here to express who we are, to be our true selves, to be ourselves, because being ourselves is the journey of becoming. And the journey of becoming is about allowing yourself to grow into who you're meant to be. And it's not something that happens just like that. Like, it does happen just like that because it's a decision. But the process of that kind of unraveling and unlearning and relearning and stepping into that self-expression with confidence and with conviction, that takes some time. And like I said, in this world, we're not always celebrated for that self-expression, although there does seem to be a real kind of not a division, but there seem to be two paths We're one path where self-expression is really celebrated, in particular through like the coaching world. Like we celebrate being ourselves, and we celebrate our clients showing up as they really truly want to, breaking through the barriers, breaking through limitations, changing the stories, all of that good stuff. And so on one hand, that's really celebrated, and then on the other hand, it's not, in particular with people who aren't into like personal development, which I think is fair to say, because the whole premise of personal development is that you're developing into becoming your true self. So my focus is, of course, going to be on everyone here who wants to develop and grow into their next level self. And I just wanted to, I suppose what I want to do with this masterclass is just to bring up some of these topics and, kind of like plant some seeds and offer some suggestions and offer some pathways for you all to kind of think about, navigate through, consider, and so on. Okay? Because that's the best way that we can do this. So I have a number of different notifications. I just want to double check everything. Okay, so we're good to go. So self-expression. Now I'm going to share a couple of things as well, my own like life story and some of the experiences that I've had to back up what I'm saying and how my journey has been. A few days ago, I was reading a post from one of my mentors, and she said something in there which just resonated so good. I was like, oh my God, this feels so good. It's just like so flipping right. And she talked about how self-expression is her thing, and if she doesn't express who she is and say what she wants to say, then she didn't use a word that it harms her, but it stops her from being herself. And what this reminded me of is when I was 12 years old, I had a really difficult childhood, emotional, physical, sexual abuse, mental abuse. It was incredibly difficult. And I've always naturally been a speaker, right? I just talk. I have to communicate. I have to articulate whatever it is that I feel within myself, emotions, feelings, experiences, stories, whatever it might be. Now, some people say I'm Little Miss Chatterbox, but we all have our time, so it's all good. There's a lot to say, right? There's a lot of things, a lot of stories to share. But what happened for me by the time I was 12 is that my voice had already been suppressed and repressed. I was already being shamed. I had already been shamed to not speak out and to not talk about the things that had been happening. And it was continuous, right? It was throughout my childhood. And it was just like this disintegration of my own voice, disintegration of my personality, of my truth. And what happened for me is it went to the point where I attempted suicide at 12 years old, because I was repressing, I had blocked down, I pushed down all of my truth and my feelings and my emotions. And it's just incredible to think that straight after that experience, very shortly after that experience, my school had set up a counsellor to work with me, and working with her was the game changer. Hey Sandra, nice to see you here, my love. By the way, I can't see who is here. I can't see if anybody's here, so drop your comments below to let me know. I would really appreciate it, because it does feel like I'm talking to an empty room. So I love your comments. I really can't see if anybody's online, so yeah, say hi. So basically what happened with working with my counsellor is that I, of course, released and unleashed and let go of everything that was inside of me, all the pain, all the angst, all the upset, all the dreams, all the fears, all the ambitions, it all would just come out. And so, for me, what I valued growing up was speaking my truth and saying what needs to be said in the way that it needs to come through, in order to honor my truth, in order to honor where I'm at in that moment in time. And it was like a steady progress or steady process of growth, speaking up a little bit more, expressing myself a little bit more, sharing more of what I really truly felt, not like overthinking, and not like holding back because somebody might not like it. And it led to some incredible conversations, and to really being, a powerful speaker, a powerful communicator, a powerful teacher. Because the skill is that we get to speak and share our truth without any attachment, like without any attachment for you, and without any attachment to the other person's opinion and so on. Okay, this is all about self-expression. So when we allow ourselves to be who we are and to say what we want to say without the attachment, just the intention to speak truth, there's something really powerful that happens. You're protected. You're actually protected. Like the truth seekers and truth speakers are protected because your intention is pure. And what you want to do is you want to focus on how you want to show up, but you also want to focus on how source sees you. So my, you could say I suppose my standing point, or my perspective that I really focus on, is creator, is God, source. How does God see me? How does source see me? What does creator have for me in store, right? And so, oh, hey Sandra, you love this. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. Please keep commenting, because like I said, I can't see who's online and who's not. And I really appreciate it, because this is the first time that I'm sharing this content kind of publicly, you could say. I talk about this stuff obviously with my one-to-one clients and my coaching clients, and so on. And I've just thought that this is a form of self-love. Self-expression is a form of self-love. So, so seeing yourself as source sees you, as your heart and soul sees you, is the game changer. Because when you focus on what's best for you, coming from within you, coming from that greater part of you, then it's much, much easier to just be at peace with saying what you want to say. One of the challenges that I had right at the beginning, kind of not right at the beginning of my coaching journey, my business journey, kind of in between, was like, okay, if I write this, what if somebody reads it in that way? If I say this, what if somebody reads it in that way? And it's one of those things where you can't control it. It gets to your mind to the point where you're just like, okay, you know what? I can either choose to live my life diminishing or dismissing or watering down how I really want to express myself and what I really want to say, or I could just honor what's coming through and express that and share that and speak it and so on, and deal with anybody's reactions if there are. Remember, fear is an illusion, right? And so we make up these stories in our mind about how things could be, should be, might be, and actually none of that in all honesty comes true. So the main point is that you want to focus on how source sees you. You are the universe's attention, right? You are, each and every single one of us in our own bubble. Like I see people with a bubble around them, right? This incredible, beautiful, like soft white bubble, or a violet bubble around them. And in that bubble, I've got goosebumps just saying that and feeling that. In that bubble, what you have is each and every single person in their bubble being the attention of source. And the attention of source is always love. It's always unconditional love. It's always divine guidance. It's always divine protection. It's always that you are okay and you are safe. It's always that. But if you were to come out of the bubble and be like, oh, okay, no, maybe not quite, then there's something else going on. You'll start to see that your perspective will shift. So in order to overcome the fear of visibility and the fear of speaking your truth, what you want to do is focus on source, focus on coming from that key part. Okay, so we've got lots more to share. So I'm just going to check in with Sandra here. So my affirmation I started a while ago is I give myself permission to speak my truth. Yes, 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 yes. Mwah. I love that. It's absolutely true. That's exactly what it is. I give myself permission to speak my truth. So this is amazing. So the masterclass is amazing. She loves it. I love that. I love that. On that, actually, I love that you shared that, because permission is the thing. Permission is the game changer. When you give yourself permission. Hey Johnny, so wonderful. Thanks for sharing. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so happy you're here. Yay! Amazing. Like I said, I can't see who's online. To me, it's not showing anybody online. So please do share your comments and just drop a hi, even if it's just that. Express yourself. That would be amazing. So yeah, this is about permission, right? This is about saying I'm giving myself permission to share what is on my heart and mind. And like I said, like the people I attract into my world, because my own intention is that pure source energy, are people who have really beautiful intentions. We're not here to hurt people. We are absolutely here to honor ourselves and to honor the journey that we're on, right? And so there's this real beauty that the people here, you're not going to be wanting to hurt anybody with your truth. You know, if other people feel hurt, then that's for them to, number one, deal with, and for you, if you feel guided to support them through that. But you know, a lot of people can be very, very sensitive to truths that are not the same as theirs, and we have to navigate that. We have to, or we don't. It's a choice. You can choose. So, okay, so just want to go back and just cover a few of the things that we will recap. So we've talked about the challenge in this world of being seen and being heard, expressing yourself, speaking your truth, and allowing yourself to do that. So using that word about permission, you get to give yourself permission. Even if it's just a little bit more each and every single day, a little bit more each and every single day. Hey, Michael, awesome to have you here, dude. Awesome, awesome. And so give yourself that permission, okay? Even if it's on some of the topics that people don't want to talk about, give yourself the permission first. I'm kind of going in between some of my content or some of my kind of main points, but I'll come back to it all in detail. And you want to focus on how Source sees you, okay? So you are the center of the universe, not from an arrogant place, not from the ego's place, literally from God's source, from the source within you. You are guided, protected, loved, seen, held in this, like, oh, I've got goosebumps again. So this like big hug of love. That's what it is, right? And so you're free to say what feels right and true for you. And this takes discernment, right? It takes discernment. It takes knowing yourself, it takes confidence, it takes bravery, it takes courage, but none of it has to be so hard. And I do want to just go back to the point that I made at the beginning about the effect that it had for me to not speak out, where I, attempted suicide because I was repressing my voice, and I can't do that. My number one rule growing up was I'm going to say what needs to be said, even if it's uncomfortable. I'm going to do what needs to be done, even if it's uncomfortable. And being completely transparent for myself, being on social media and sharing some of the content that I was like over the past few years, I repressed, I held back my voice, and I started to feel it. I started to feel that icky feeling, how it feels like when you really want to say something and you're just not saying it. You're just like, oh my gosh, I really need to say it and I don't feel like I'm being myself. If you've ever done that, just let me know in the comments below. It was one of those things where I was like, okay, I just need to speak out and just say what needs to be said because this is my truth. And so leading on to that, there are places that you can do that. So here's the thing. When you honor your self-expression for yourself, to start with, you will attract people, like-minded souls who are on the same vibe, and you will attract or repel out anybody who doesn't get it. Okay, yes, okay, amazing. Sandra says she loves this. Yes, definitely, exactly right. And so this point is really important, guys. Okay, honor your truth for yourself. Honor where you're at. Consider what you believe. Consider, there's been a lot in the past year. Most people, many people's opinions about things have shifted and have changed. That's okay. That's what soul growth is all about. Every single day you get to chip away, you get to chip away, you get to chip away. So honor who you are, who you're becoming, and what your new truth is, what your changed truth is, what your transformation is. Honor that in your own space and time, and like-minded people will come to you to kind of back that up and support that. So because I speak my mind about a lot of topics within myself, with my friends, with my clients, I attract people who are on the same wavelength. And even if we don't share the same views, what we do share is the exploration of that. We share the exploration of critical thinking. We share the exploration of challenging. We share the exploration of looking at what looks like BS and illusions and fears and trying to get to the truth, right? So if this is resonating for you, just drop a comment below and let me know, okay? That would be awesome to see. So some of the practical ways, I just want to touch on a few practical ways that you can honor your truth. Like I said, number one, in your own time, in your own home, in your own space, talk to yourself. Hands up if you do. I definitely do, and I know a lot of people do as well. Is speak out your own opinions, voice them out, write them down as well, journal them. Journal anything that's going through for you that you're finding a challenge, or that you or anything that is maybe a touchy subject, or maybe something different. Like honor that, write it down in your journal. So I journal every night. I don't know what my screen is doing, but I'm going to come back to thank you, Johnny. I'm going to come back to your message in a second, okay? So I journal every single night, and I try and do it during the day as well, especially if I'm feeling a little bit like, oh my gosh, I just need some space, and I'll go and sit in the front room, and I'll sit and just journal away. And what that does for me is that allows me to just release out anything that's kind of getting stuck. I'm going to be honoring my own space of, as I kind of move forward with my work, of just saying what wants to come through, and what needs to come through more and more. I'm going to be doing that much more, because I know that the effect of me not speaking my truth led me to attempting suicide, and I'm not going down that road ever again. And I'm going to do every single thing beforehand to make sure that that isn't even a consideration anymore. I really hope so. Okay, so I don't know why my screen is doing this, but it's all good. Let me just see. So journaling, make sure you're journaling, make sure you're speaking out, make sure you talk to yourself, speak to your partner, your friends, anybody in your world who you have a feeling would resonate with what you want to share. Or even if they don't, if they're willing to just have the conversation. I think a lot of people get really like het up, like, oh my gosh, this is so opposite to what I think. And it's like, it's just a conversation. Just calm down. It's just a conversation, I definitely have that with my friends and family, and it's just like out. But when we come from that space, we get to create the container, right? The energetic conversational container that feels safe for everyone. I know a lot of people have some really, really harsh views and opinions and so on, which are unacceptable if they are harmful. If they are, if they're harmful, then there still has to be standards as well. Yeah. Okay. So let me just check in with some of the comments, and then we'll keep moving through some of the content as well. Okay. So let me see, what do I do here? Okay, so Johnny says, I so resonate with what you say. I felt I was constantly silenced outside, and then I found another way to express myself by sharing nature online and spreading love through that, and nature helped me to reconnect, and those who are on my wavelength connected. There you go, boom. That is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, right? This is exactly it. None of us have to silence our truth, but as long as we honor it within ourselves, we will attract people into our world who get it, who want to be part of this. Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Johnny. Sandra, yes, I talk to myself. Yay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. And you share that you feel that you're going, okay, so I feel I'm going through big changes, spiritual experience, like moving away from the old. Yes, my love, you are. So there is a spiritual awakening happening on the planet. It has been happening for a while. It really accelerated last year, and we'll talk about this. I know some of the people on here as well. Some of the people who signed up for. I'm just checking my message from my assistant just to see if we've had a couple of people added as well. Who would definitely get this. So some of us have had challenging life experiences for a long time for a reason. And one of the reasons is, now I don't tend to use the term light worker. It just is what it is. Okay, so I'm definitely, of course, of the light, which means that for myself personally, I went through a lot of dark experiences, because there's so much more to this. But essentially, when we go through dark experiences and tough times and challenges, we're going through them to actually rediscover the light within those awful or those difficult times. Okay, so energetically, I'm an alchemist, so I'm skilled naturally, as in it's not something that I ever learned how to do. It's just something that my soul came here with the gift of, is to alchemize the pain, the trauma, the dark into light. And not everyone has this gift, but some of us do. And for some of us, and it's like everyone has their own divine gifts, and this is what I love discovering and celebrating and helping you guys to discover when you do, because it's like, wow, your gift is the thing that the world needs, right? And so some of us were kind of catapulted into spiritual awakening in 2012. For myself, it happened when I was 12. That was my first spiritual awakening. And then again, that's in 2012. And the reason has been is so that we can actually go through, we've been through that spiritual awakening, so that when the time was right, people like you guys were able and are able to reach out to people like myself that have walked the path and know that the path is safe when we navigate it this way and this way and this way and this way and this way. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I've gone through the really hard times and the tough times, navigated that, and found the strategies and the ways to make sure that obviously that I'm safe, I'm well and intact, although some would say I'm crazy, but that's okay. So that others can also walk that same path or that similar path safely as well. So when you're talking, Sandra, about the spiritual experiences and the changes, I get you totally. Johnny, when you're talking about, how you reconnected and still shared and expressed yourself, I get what you're talking about. Okay, and that is what this is all about. We're on this journey together. We really are walking each other home, as Ram Dass is famous for saying. Some of us went ahead and we're helping everyone else to come through, and others that helped me, who were like way ahead, they walked the path before I did so that they could guide myself, right? And it's that ripple effect. And what is so beautiful about this, like obviously I didn't plan this part of the conversation, but what is so beautiful about this is that the person in front of me, my coaches and my mentors, my counselors, my teachers, and everybody, who's kind of helped me along the way, they walked the path first by expressing their truth, right? They expressed their truth, and overcame their fear of visibility, right? In order to be able to attract me into their world. So I do a lot with my hands. I explain this in every single video, like in my mind, because our unconscious is not words. Our unconscious is made up of pictures and images, and these images are so clear in my mind. Physically make the pictures with my hands because that's just how I do it. So they express themselves and resonated and attracted me into their world to then help me to keep moving forward. But they did that by expressing their truth. And it's the same way with myself, where I'm expressing my truth and sharing from heart and soul right now, talking about things that you might not have heard before. Maybe other teachers aren't talking about this stuff. I don't know. What I do know is that when I lead, others will follow and they will lead as well. That's what we do. We help leaders to become leaders by being the follower first and finding out how to be the leader to then keep growing and growing. There's some magic coming through today, which I love. So if that's resonated or if you've got any questions, please feel free to just post them below. Okay, you're more than welcome to ask any questions and I'll answer them whilst I'm on here. So Sandra shares, I love nature, so I go out every day needing grounding, need grounded and grounding. Yes. So true, so true. And I can't wait to get back doing art when moving to my apartment next to my partner. Art is great. Expressing art was my first love growing up. Oh, that's so beautiful. Yes. And this is the thing, right? Expression doesn't have to be just through verbalizing. It comes through, doesn't it, right? So it comes through. I'm not a musician at all. I don't even know how to play the recorder. If you've got some musical talents, just post them in the comments, right? Just let us know. But expression comes through however it's meant to. And I love the words. I love that word art. Because when you think about it, self-expression is art, isn't it? Releasing who you are, what you believe, what you see, how you feel, in whatever format that comes through is a form of art. It's a form of mastery. It's a form of saying, yes, this is who I am. This is how I share my truth. Glass beads, like they're really tiny beads, and I love designing them and putting them into artwork. I'm working on one for my mum, so once I finish that, I will share some pictures so you guys can see. But it's a form of, for me, like I'm doing it as a form of gratitude, and even crocheting every single stitch, because these are baby blankets that I crochet. Every I don't think they're called stitches, but whatever. Every single stitch is one of thank you. Like I'm literally saying thank you in every single stitch. And so these become really powerful pieces of gratitude, and you could see them or consider them or think of them as art. It's just expression, which is art as well. Okay, so Sandra shares, this is great, we're learning and in this together. Absolutely, 100%. And the changes are safe. It's just going to be uncomfortable. I can definitely for sure guarantee that much, that change is uncomfortable, but the process is incredible as long as you are honoring your truth, right? So my aim is to step up, fill out from speaking workshops and Facebook. It's helping people confidence to be speaking. Yeah, exactly, right? So helping people to speak with confidence and, and showing up. You go there first and then others will follow. And what our duty is as the leader, is to show others how to lead themselves, right? It's not about, oh my gosh, just follow me, la 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 la. It's my thing is, I'm leading. I'm the reluctant leader. I'm very reluctant, but I'm the leader, and my job is to show you how to lead yourself, because when I'm out of the picture, you've still got to lead yourself, right? And so that's how this works. So Michael asks, how do I know which leader qualities do I still have to learn? Great question. Okay, so leadership qualities, there's quite a few. But the main ones are going to be definitely self-expression, emotional intelligence, okay, is a big one. So this is about understanding. Let me just actually write these down, and then I'm going to go through them. Okay, so you've got emotional intelligence. There was another one that was just coming through for me. So what was I? Emotional intelligence, self-expression, which we've spoken about, empathy. Okay, so I'm going to talk about these three, and there might be detachment as well. Okay, so self-expression we've talked about. I can still cover some more things on, especially the fear of visibility. So if you guys give me a moment, I will come back to that. Emotional intelligence is about understanding how you feel, in this understanding what your emotions are teaching you, and that flow, okay, that flow of feelings and emotions and that release. So I've often shared it that we're not here to be robots. We are not human robots. We are human beings. And what this means is that you get to fully experience the spectrum of emotions and feelings. So I think it was in my manifesting masterclass, which is in this group, where I talked about the emotional guidance system and how you can move up and down. So definitely check out that video. But what you want to be able to do is to learn, know yourself, right? Self-mastery, know your emotions, understand what your emotions are teaching you, what your feelings are teaching you, and how you can actually create positive emotions and feelings to inform your life experience. Okay, there's always detachment with all of this. We don't get attached to any of it. It's all just flow. It's like Michael just said there, change is inevitable, right? Change is flow, change is constant. I've got a little postcard on my bookshelf that my sister gave to me, which is called Change is the Only Constant, and it is. And so a leader has these skills of emotional intelligence. Who am I? How do I connect? How do I communicate? How do I speak? How do I feel? How do I feel about this situation? How do I feel about this circumstance? What emotions are going through me? What does anger look like? What does rage look like? What does joy look like and feel like? What does happiness feel like? You know, there's so much. Honestly, this like human experience is pretty phenomenal when you get into the diversity of all of this. There is so much more for you to experience, and it comes from choosing to. Okay, so the leadership qualities, that's the second one. Self-expression of one. Emotional intelligence would be the second one. Really mastering your emotions and so on, and that's what I do as a self-mastery mentor. That's what I help my clients with. Thing, or this whole thing about life is all about you. You are the universe's center of attention for sure, but Source wants you to be of service to humanity, to be of service to your true self. So it's like, I mean, I kind of don't even get into the words with this too much about it being selfish or not selfish. It just is what it is, okay? We're here to be of service to others, to help others, to support others, to guide others, to lead others. And but we have to do that from a place of meeting our own needs, from a place of understanding who we are, from a place of really wanting the very best for ourselves, right? Falling in love with ourselves, appreciating ourselves, and having our own back. When you've got a beautiful relationship with others to help and support and guide others comes so easy, because your own needs have been met by you, and you have this overflow to give to others, right? So everything that I share, like I share a lot of content comes through me because I meet my own needs. I fill up my own cup, so what wants to come through can come through as overflow. I don't want to do this, oh, I'm just wasting my time, or no one's going to listen. It's literally just like, okay, do you know what? This is what's coming through me, and I'm going to share it because I've taken care of my own needs, and source Source wants us and desires us to be of service to others. And this is another way to overcome the fear of visibility and to overcome, and to kind of master self-expression. You do it from the intention of your source, to help others, to support. Focus on being of service, which comes from source. And what was the other thing? Oh, empathy. So just to tie up this one with the leadership qualities, when you also know how your own emotions work and how your mind works and who you are and how to be yourself, be your best self, it's so much easier to have empathy for others because you've already been in, amazing comments. Okay, I'm going to come back to them in a second, all right? So because you've already got a good relationship with yourself, we can see that mirror in others, and so we can help them navigate through. Now, just before and somebody very, very close to her has passed away in an accident, hit and run in the US. And I think she only just found out, I think it might have just been just today, or maybe it was a day ago. Being able to hold her in that space of she needed to go where she needed to go emotionally. Number one, for me as a coach, it's an honor and it's a privilege to be able to hold somebody like that. But it was also one of these things where it's like she has to express what's coming through, however that comes through for her. And because I've been in that situation, that empathy works. Like, I've been there, so I can hold that space for her, but I'm not going into her space. I'm really going to some advanced mastery here now. Detached, which is a very, very powerful space to be in, and then I'm supporting her through that. So this is what the leader does. We support, we walk through. We don't necessarily go into someone's world. And I will just say, I feel guided to say this as well. There's a lot of content out there. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be revealed. A lot of stuff has been revealed, which is very, very dark about humanity, about the things that have been happening in this world. And I feel guided to just say that you can stay out of that by kind of working through the emotions and not being emotionally detached. If that doesn't resonate for you, what I just shared, at some point it will. So I'm planting a seed. But if it does resonate for you, then you'll know what I'm talking about. This isn't the place right now to talk about it. But yeah, this is what we get to do. We get to do this. Okay, so those were the 3 or 4 things that I wanted to share. I hope they've helped Michael about the qualities with regards to leadership. There is a lot more as well. But just to touch on that, I could maybe do a masterclass on leadership, self-leadership. I've done that quite a few times. So if that's what you guys want, just drop a comment below. So Michael shares that change is inevitable. Only if you make sure to influence them in a positive way, you will get a positive outcome. Exactly. And so that's what we want to do. You always just want to be yourself. Just keep pure intentions. Just stick to pure source, divine energy. There's more than enough flipping pain and anger and pent up emotions in this world. And I would love for my trailblazers to just be a group of people in this world, a community of people who really come back to pure divine source. That is the thing that will change this world in so many ways. Sandra, so this is great information as my mentorship course modules now on leadership. So this is brilliant. I'm going to listen to this again. Yes, exactly. Where is that video? Okay, so the video with regards to the manifestation masterclass, which I did. So I did that a few weeks ago. In fact, I will put the link in down below. Diane, if you are, it's my assistant, if you are listening, can you send the link, or can you just post the link in the group? That would be amazing. We'll have the link for you, okay? It was really cool. I think that was a nearly 2-hour masterclass on manifestation, which was really awesome. Justin, hey dude, awesome to see you here. So I'm a coach and leader myself, but I notice I have a fear a mental block around really putting myself out there on social media? Anything that helps you move through this, Leila? Great question. Okay, so I know you're going to get this as well. So last year, with all the stuff that was going on, I know there's going to be quite a few people who get this. I felt guided to share powerful content about the behind the scenes of the stuff that's going on, and so in the people that were following my content. Now, I was absolutely okay with that. Initially, it was a bit like, okay, what's going on? But then I was okay with it because, number one, whoever's meant to be repelled is going to be repelled. And so then what I started to do is that some of the content did start to become really dark stuff. And I was really challenged with coaching myself through, like, what do I do? What do I share this stuff? Do I not share this stuff? There's really important things that people worked through where I was at with sharing this content. And what I realized is, and I didn't even make a decision on this. Hey, I didn't even kind of make this decision. It was literally soul was guiding me to not share the content that I was coming across. And this is why. Because I am such a powerful light, as in my soul is so powerful of light. Like, I can't even control it. So it sounds weird, but I'm just like, okay, fine, whatever soul wants for me and through me, okay, I'm to be of service. Raising my own vibration. Oh, am I breaking up? Let me know if it's got better, okay? Let me know if it's got better. Sometimes it does that because I'm like right the other side of the house from the router. So what I was guided to do was to focus on raising my own vibration, and provide content that can shift and elevate mindsets and to keep planting the seeds. And that really resonated, settled me down, because my purpose was not to share that content, but it is the purpose of those people and those souls for whom that is what they're here to do, right? Now, having said that, if I feel guided to share some of this stuff, then I would most definitely share it. And also in conversation with my clients who get this stuff, this is the kind of stuff that we talk about. We go into the details, we go into the depths of how do you deal with, some of these awful things that have happened and have been done in humanity. How do we move through that? So I coach my clients through this stuff. But when it came to my own social media, this shift came from my own heart and soul, which was just like, you like, the guidance came through. You need to raise your own vibration so you can help to raise the vibration of those around you. And by doing that, those who want to consider or talk about or discuss these other things will be attracted to you. So this is going back to my first point about, one of my first points about attracting like-minded people. It just kind of happens naturally. Yeah. Thank you, Sandra, for letting me know. So I just want to check in with Justin's comment just to make sure that I've answered that. So you have a fear around really putting yourself out there on social media. What I would also say, because I know you would get the stuff that I've just talked about. What I would also say is that you want to focus step. So a group, if it's more practical, if it's more about the practical stuff, and I'm going to give you a strategy that can really help. But if it's not quite it, then make sure you drop a comment below, okay, Justin? So one of the things that you can do, and I've started to do this with a few of my clients, is to create a safe space. So my Trailblazers, this group, my Soul-Led Trailblazers group, I've had this for 7 or 8 years, I think now, since the beginning of my business journey. And for a while it was growing, and then life happened and I had a different divine assignment, so I didn't really do much in this group. A couple of months ago I was guided to start this group up again, and it's actually been quite recent. And so I've been sharing more in here. Now, one of the things that I do is I see this community, us all here, as a community, but also as part of like my online home. So this is basically like my online home where we get to hang out, we get to have these conversations, we get to share, we get to talk, and I also get to sell my products and my services. Now, if you know me and if you're part of my inner circle world, then you know that when I talk about selling products, what we're doing is blah 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 is we are creating an invitation for somebody to buy something from me so that their problem no longer exists, so that they can work through the problem to the solution. Okay. And that's all that selling is. So having an online home is a great way to put yourself out there on social media, because you've got your own container. And I will share this as well. This is something that I teach in my Fearless Business Success course, is that when you do things like this, when you show up on social media, when you do live streams, when you share content, when you write posts, you're not just actually sharing content. What you're actually doing is going through personal growth, right? So your live stream is a vehicle or a vessel for your personal growth, right? So I've not shared this content before. I've not shared it in this kind of container ever before. I've shared it in other spaces. But this today has been personal growth for me, because, you know, the truth of it is, yesterday I was just like, oh my gosh, what's going to come out? Because I know what I can be like when my mouth just goes and things just come out, you know. And so there were these fears and this, like, you know, this kind of resistance, yeah. But I worked through it and I've delivered the masterclass, and we'll probably go for maybe another 5-10 minutes, might go a bit over. But it feels great. So my own personal soul growth has been through this experience within the past 24 hours, or maybe less than 24 hours, when I shared that this masterclass is available. Do you guys see what I mean? So your personal growth and your soul growth, and Justin, just let me know if this resonates as well. Your personal growth is in the facing the fears and showing up and doing what you're guided to do, even though it's uncomfortable, even though it feels like it's a bit like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if it's going to resonate. And then you elevate, right? And so each week I've got a different masterclass topic. And, you know, a lot of the time it might be things that I've not shared publicly, but because this Facebook group is a safe container, I know that I can. Yeah, and I haven't, of course, even gone into some of the details. So I would definitely say the fear of visibility, it's an illusion. Of course it is, but you can work through it to the other side. So let me know, Justin, if that resonates. And if you have any more questions, I'm more than happy to help. I see my book cover in the background. I can never do this properly. That way? That way. So my original book cover didn't have my photo on it, right? I didn't have my photo on there. I just had a plain text. And I did not want my picture on there because I was really worried about the kind of attention that it would get. And so for about I highly recommend it. I was like, no. So he let it go, and I just carried on. And I remember basically it took me a year to my book cover. And what happened was I was at a VIP Master Day at the Savoy. I think we were at the Savoy or the Ritz in London with my publisher there, and I was sat with another author, and something just happened in that moment when my resistance had just released, and she was like, "You've got to have your picture on the cover." And I got it, and I was like, "Yeah, you know what? You're right." So literally 2 minutes, 2 minutes before Jerry was gonna do his next presentation, I was like, "Oh my god, Jerry! I want my picture on the cover. I've worked through my fears. It's going to be fine. Can we still do this? Is it too late?" Because the book was ready to kind of pretty much go to print. And he actually, so basically the way that it was, like, I had my cover as a PDF on a piece of paper, not as a PDF, on a piece of paper, and he just drew this outline, right? He did not know that I had the most perfect picture for my cover. So the next day, the team put my picture on, and so that's how I overcame visibility, and how I actually ended up with the cover on there. And it's exactly this. This is what I was talking about. Okay, so Justin shares, yes, 100% embracing the discomfort. Fantastic. I see that Justin's going to go, so let me just come back to you, Sandra. So a lot of breakup for some reason, Leila. I'm going to have to rewatch this to take it in again. Fully appreciated. I have another call in 10 minutes. Have to say bye for now. Love your energy, Leila. We will connect. Amazing. Thank you, Justin, for being here. Bye. Amazing, Justin. Thank you. Awesome to have you here. Please do connect. I'm not sure why it's been breaking up. I'm not sure about that. So I'm going to stay on for another couple of minutes and then we'll finish up. So if you guys can still see me now, then awesome. I might have to do something about the router. I don't know. All right. So Sandra was asking, how do you work through resistance? Can you explain more? Great question. Yes, she agrees. A lot of breakups. I'm so sorry. Universe, angels, come on. Let's have an amazing connection, please. A clear connection. So, Sandra, how do you work through resistance? Can you explain more? So, the easiest way that I can explain it is that, say if you want, this is what's coming through, so I'm just going to go with it, okay? Say if you want to wear a green jumper, a green polka dot jumper, and usually you wear black or blue. Hey Ash, hey beautiful, awesome to have you here. Just as I'm finishing off, my love. So here's the example, okay? So you usually wear black, and you just hear this voice just saying, wear that green polka dot jumper. And you're just like, oh my God, I would love to wear that green polka dot jumper. But then the resistance comes in. What will people think? What if you're judged? What if it doesn't suit you? What if it looks weird? What if it doesn't? That is resistance. Those are fears, and they're all illusions. So what you would do, one of the ways that you could work through this is to take each of those fears and either talk yourself through them to the point where it's okay, it's absolutely fine, nothing's going to happen, you're going to look beautiful, and all that matters is that you are happy. And you could list it all through, or you could journal it, and you could basically get to the core issue, and then face your fear. So by wearing it and not caring what anybody thinks, right? So this is how resistance works. This is how we break through resistance, is you have to see it. So I never encourage spiritual bypassing. I always say, acknowledge how you feel, acknowledge what your emotions are, work through it, because the pain of not dealing with discomfort is far worse than the pain of dealing with it in the moment. So that was so Johnny shares, thank you so much for this live. You are so welcome. It's been amazing having you guys here. It's been absolutely fantastic. So I'm just going to check my notes just to make sure I've covered everything. I think, yes, old you coming. What do you mean, Sandra? Told, okay. Just type it up again for me, please. Okay, so I'm just going to recap, and I will see if Spirit comes through with an offer for you guys, an invitation for you guys on how we can work further. So we talked about the challenge in this world to being seen and heard, express your emotions and your feelings, and how to do that in a safe space and in a safe way. Focusing on source as your kind of guiding light, and the power that you receive from being with source, which actually helps you to say what needs to be said, to do what needs to be done, blah, blah, blah. Leadership, we talked about leadership and how leadership, the 4 qualities that I talked about: self-expression, emotional intelligence, empathy, and detachment, which I touched on very, very briefly, and how these are really, really key for your leadership within yourself and leading others. We talked about some social media and business, and your soul growth is in things like this. It's in the sharing posts, it's in the sharing the videos, it's in the doing the things that you're uncomfortable about doing. We also talked about some of the tough things going on in this world, and how to navigate by honoring your truth. And we power. So what I would suggest you guys do is obviously work through this content, come back here. I'm going to put this into the guides. The resistance, the old us comes back to us. Yes, exactly. I totally agree. Exactly. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. So, all right. So 2 ways to work with me, or 1 way. If you would like to sign up for a breakthrough session, send me a message. We can get you signed up. I'm really sorry about the connection. I can see that it's kind of been breaking up a little bit. Sign up for a breakthrough session. If you want to find out more about my courses as well, you can DM me for more details. I have my Rise Up One-to-One, which is my high-end one-to-one coaching program. 4 months intensive. It's a 5-figure investment, and it's accelerated soul growth, and it's incredible to apply. I also have 2 masterminds as well, so Magnetic Soul Mastermind and the Leading Edge Mastermind. So these are group coaching programs. Magnetic Soul Mastermind is focused on manifestation. I absolutely love it. Quantum manifesting and manifesting more abundance, more love, more of the things that you deeply desire. The Leading Edge Mastermind is all about self-love, self-leadership, really owning who you are and manifesting from that place with conviction. And I've got lots of different courses as well. So yeah, just DM me for any details. I will send those through for you. It's interesting because I usually do have an offer, but I'm just waiting. That being said, guys, it's been amazing. Thank you so much for your time, for your attention, for your love, for your questions, for your vibes. I love you guys. Have an amazing day. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them below and I will still get back to you, okay? Have an amazing one. And as always, remember that life is today, so follow your heart